Good afternoon. My name is Annie. I'm from Vit Canada, not VIT. And that's just a little bit about the company. I'm not going to go too much into it. It's service-based. It's for Canadian patients, healthcare industry professionals, and any company that offers health-related products or services. Ooh, I should not have done that. I wanted to ask a question first. How many of you have gone to see a doctor in the last year? For a prescription, for a checkup, for a pap test? Girls, you ought to be raising your hands for this one. Really? Okay. Well, in 2005, 77% of Canadians aged 18 to 64 consulted a general practitioner in the previous year, 25% of which did so 4 or more times, and 27% which additionally went on to see a specialist. Next question. How many of you have internet access at home? That's right, more hands, okay. Now, have any of you gone on the internet to look up something health related in the last year or so? All right, lots more hands, good. Well, there are 8.6 million online households in Canada, and of these 8.6 million, 6 million Canadians, about 46% of the internet users, search the internet for health or medical related information. This was back in 2000. This is 7 years later. Lots more people are looking at these things. And 3.4 million of that 6 million did so at least once per month. Now, let me tell you a little story about the average Canadian patient. Okay. Let's say her name is Sally, and she doesn't have a family doctor. She's just moved to BC. She goes online to the BC website for general surgeons, practitioners, and whatnot, right? She looks up who's around the area, who's accepting new patients, and they have a nice site for this. You can check whether or not the doctor's accepting new patients, and you can see where they are. Now, she's got a long list here. She goes through each one around her neighborhood, and she calls them. But the thing is, a lot of the doctors who are listed on there aren't actually accepting new patients, and she finds that out once she's on hold for 2 to 3 minutes after she talks to a receptionist, and then finally she decides, okay, she wants to book an appointment with this doctor, but the doctor only works 2 to 3 days a week at this clinic. So she waits a few more minutes while she's on hold, and they tell her which days are available, what times are available, and all this time is spent trying to see a doctor. Finally, she sees a doctor, and she's got a problem, and she needs to see a specialist because the doctor can't help her. She's only family practice. Now, when the doctor says it's okay for her to see a specialist, the doctor has to write a form. The form has to go to the receptionist. The receptionist is filing things, is taking patients in, is calling people to come back in to see the reports, doing all sorts of stuff. Referrals get put on to the next day. Once the referral is in the hands of the receptionist, they have to call the office. And then they find out sometimes that they don't like phone referrals. They have to do it by fax. Some like phone referrals, some like fax referrals. And then once they actually do that, they find out a lot of them have to do it with their own form. So you go back, you get this new form, you get the doctor to fill it out, you finally send it, you fax it back. That's why your specialist appointments take so long. I work in a clinic, and this is annoyingly frustrating, but this is how it works. So this is just plain efficient, and we at Vit Canada decided to ask why. Why is it that we have to wait so long? The UK already demands that doctors have to start doing online appointment booking. That way patients can go online, they can book their appointments, it's easy, it's fast, they don't have to go through waiting on hold for several different receptionists. And that's where we get into the product. Now, Vit Canada doesn't just offer online appointment booking services. I mean, there are a lot of companies who do that. The product is, first, a website that not only has the list of doctors, that not only has the list of specialists, but has a way for healthcare professionals to access this information to see confidential information of how long the wait list is, whether or not they do have specialist specifications, such as some GPs don't accept senior patients, which they're not going to say, but you don't want that out in the public, but other healthcare professionals should know this, so they don't refer off a patient to someone who's not going to see them. In addition to this, patients, the general public, can go online and click on a doctor's name and see pictures of what the clinic looks like, see where it is. That's also very important. If I'm going to go to see a surgeon, I'd like to see that the facilities are clean and that they have certain qualifications. Most of the time when you see a doctor and they refer you on to a specialist, you don't know anything about them. You just know that the doctor referred you, this is the specialist I'm going to see. And like I said before, we have the online appointment booking services, which saves time. And we have article and product review links, which are for the companies who want to advertise on our site. Now, as I said before, there are a lot of competitors in this industry, ones that offer the listings for free, the BC Practitioners and Surgeons of BC, that organization, but they don't have a complete listing, and they don't have information like billing numbers and fax numbers ready for healthcare professionals who are looking to make these referrals. There are also competitors of online booking services, but they're so general, they're for anybody, and you pay just to have the service, to be able to have a website, and you format it yourself, you add your own days. And then there are also lots of sites that offer product and review listings, but they're so separated and they're so for everyone that they're not concentrated, they're not targeting the direct market that they actually want to talk to. Our target market is the healthcare professionals and the companies offering healthcare products and services. This is where we make our money. And how? Well, say a person does have the option of looking up their specialist. Do you guys know the story of Intel, how Intel became what it is today? Before people would buy computers, they'd go to the store. Serviceman would say, okay, this is the computer you want. It does this and this and this. Then Intel decided, we're going to market to the consumer. So the consumer goes to the store and asks for Intel inside. Same way that Intel does this, we're going to do this with patients. So patients don't have to just go to the doctor and accept whatever specialist that they recommend. They can actually look up which specialist they want to see which qualifications they have, where they are. Maybe I want to go to someone who's in Burnaby rather than Delta, which may be quicker, but I'd want it in Burnaby. I'll wait that extra 2 days. What was I say? Oh yeah. So for the same reason of that, if there are two specialists, both come into the same market, say they're cardiologists and they've just come into they're straight out of med school. And one has a site on their website that has all this information ready for the doctors to see, and the other doesn't. Doctor doesn't know anything about either of these specialists. Which one do you think he's going to choose? Which one do you think the patient's going to choose? Person with more information. So for $5 a year, we add additional information to these doctors' web pages, whether it be a photo gallery or a testimonials page, whatever they choose out of our options. Now, in terms of the online appointment booking services, say it costs about $15 for an MOA, a medical office assistant. And out of her 8-hour day, she spends about 2 hours talking on the phone with people, scheduling appointments, et cetera, et cetera. Now, that's $30 a day. Now, we're only charging $5. $5 a day for you to have your online appointment booking schedule. So everyone can see when they can make appointments, they can switch whenever they want, they can do it at 2 o'clock in the morning when the office is closed. And for banner advertisements, the industry standard is if you get about 100,000 hits on your website, you get about 0.3 cents per impression. Now, impression is just the picture on the page for the advertisement. Now, our site would be focused on an industry which we should be able to get more money from because it is so focused and we are targeting specific companies. Calculated on this, at about 0.03 cents per impression. The companies that are advertising also save a lot of money. You know how much pharmaceutical companies spend on advertisements? Just the people, the reps, the photos. You go on the SkyTrain and you see like 1 million Gardasil ads. They spend a ton of money on these things. 0.3 cents per advertisement. That's very little.